Picked up this ATI Cavalry 20 gauge over and under, looking to make what I think would be the perfect turkey gun. And you got 26-inch barrel, but the whole setup is shorter than pretty much any shotgun you can get, even a compact. Running both barrels, you can run a tight choke, top or bottom, with an open choke for close range on the bottom or top, whichever one, you know. And I was doing research and I couldn't find nothing on point of impact, you know, things like this with tight chokes for turkey hunting. There's not many videos for 20 gauge over and unders turkey hunting. So picked up this gun, threw a couple jebs chokes in it, and I'm gonna put this video together just to help some people get an idea of what they're gonna be getting before they spend the money. You know, the way I look at it is I ain't got a whole lot in the gun. If it don't work out perfect, I just go back to my old setup. But last spring I had an accident and I'm having to switch left-handed because I lost my right eye, and it's ambidextrous. I mean, you got tang, safety, shells kick out, they're not thrown across your face, you know. But what we've got here is I've got a 555 in the top barrel and a 585, both the jebs chokes. The bottom's an upland choke because they don't make a turkey choke that's got constriction. But I'm gonna shoot at 40 yards, and I've got some Federal TSS 20 gauge number 9s and some Apex Ninjas number 9s. I'm gonna shoot them at 40 and really just see how they pattern, you know. I'm kind of nervous with the 555 being too tight. It might throw it crazy or it might be perfect. I don't know, we'll have to see. But I've also, for close range, I've got some Winchester Longbeard XRs, they're number 6s. And I've got some old Federal Premiums, mag shocks. They used to be pretty good bullet shells, you know. They're number 6s. And then I've got some old Winchester Supremes, 5s, and then some Longbeard XR number 5s. I'm just gonna shoot them at 15 out of the bottom barrel, because that's gonna be pretty much my 15, 16 steps, for 10, 5 steps, you know, choke. And I've also got one of these Stevens 301 410s picked up. I took the base off because I'm not spending the money on a red dot right now. And I've got some of these Burgess Creek ammunition. They're 9.5s. I've heard a lot of good things about these boys, so we'll see. And I've also got the Federals TSS for them too, using the factory choke out of it. So we'll see how that turns out. And these past years, I've always used the red dot. For the last couple of years, I mean, and I said I'd never go back, but I could not figure out a way to mount it on this over and under that I liked. So I did some research and actually talked to my dad. You know, sometimes these old guys know what they're talking about, but the high-vis tri-vis sight is what I'm going with. It's just a dual pins, horizontal in the back and then one in the front. It's windage and elevation adjustments, windage on the back sight and elevation on the front. So anyway, I'm gonna shoot her at 40 and let her rip. First shell I'm gonna shoot is the Ninja at 40 out of the top barrel, and then I'll follow up with the Federal on the next target over and see how she does. And after every shot, I'm gonna pull the bore snake and see how, I mean, you need to clean after every shot, especially with these tungstens, man, they're dirty. So you really need to clean after every shot, but hearing protection. Here we go. All right, so Federal number 9s this time. Alright, so what I got here, this is the apex. Really not too impressed. I mean, there's a good shot right there, so it looks like it's a little bit right of where I was aiming. But I mean, it's decent. And then you go over here to the Federals, and it looks like it's a little bit left. But I mean, all in all, that's a pretty good pattern. It's just 40 yards with a 20 gauge, y'all. I mean, hell, 10 years ago, nobody was shooting 20 gauges, you know? We was all banging on 12s, 3.5s, because they didn't make 4s. But it's a pretty good pattern. I mean, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 30 or 40 pellets in his head. This is a dead bird at 40 yards. Same thing, dead bird at 40 yards. So, I mean, honestly, I didn't have to adjust these sights at all on this gun. One shot a little bit left, one shot a little bit right. This is not missing a bird. I'm pleased with these. You know, I'm comfortable enough that I know I can take an apex and put it in the gun, or put a Federal in the gun, and there's not a whole lot of difference. The apexes, those ninjas, are 8.5s. These are 9s. Whether or not it's the shell or it was me shooting one shot a little right, one shot a little left, it's almost identical, the patterns though, on opposite sides of the head. So I mean, either way, this dirt bird's dead. I like the pattern, you know, at 40 yards, if he's bobbing through the woods, you know, or pasture, wherever, he's dead. There ain't no two ways about it. So I'm pleased with this. I'm now gonna set up, and I'm gonna put her up at 15 yards and see how those do with the 585. So, all right, so I moved the target. We're at 15 yards. Bottom barrel 585 jebs. I'm gonna shoot first the Winchester Longbeard number 6s. So let her rip. All right, so got the Winchester Supremes, older shell. It's a number 5, 20 gauge, 3-inch, double X Magnum. Got the Federal mag shocks. .20 gauge, number 6s, 15 yards. We got the Winchester Longbeard XRs. It is a full pattern, you know, but it's wide, you know. Bunch of pellets in the head. You're covering an area probably this big, you know, probably 24 inches at 15 yards. And then we move to the Supremes, the Winchester double X Supremes. That's a tight pattern, you know, at 15 yards. I mean, he bobs his head one time, it's liable to miss him, you know. And this is all out of that 585, y'all. And I put the Federals. That is a really nasty pattern. I mean, that's gonna damn near cut his head off at 15 yards. But like I said though, he bobs his head one time, one move of his head, and that's a missed bird. You know, you cock your barrel a little bit, you're laying almost on the ground on your back, and your barrel's cooked a little bit. You just missed that bird. And I'm really surprised. All of these are lead shot, and surprisingly, every time I've ever shot a double X, it's been a bigger pattern than the Winchesters. But this is why you pattern your gun, y'all. But this is also to show point of aim, and the point of impact with this over and under is the same. at 15 yards as it is at 40 yards. I've got the same point of impact with point of aim. I mean, it's monumental, you know, the difference. But I will probably go with the longbeards just because of the fact I don't want to miss this bird at 15 yards. So I'm pretty much done with the 20 gauge over and under now. After this, I'm just going to shoot this 410, and I'll put this in the last part of the video, but I wasn't going to switch guns, you know, making y'all wait to see. But I hope this was helpful to some of y'all. You know, like I said, the reason I made this video is because I could not find many videos with a 20 gauge over and under throwing 2 different style chokes for turkey hunting. You know, I've seen pictures or whatever. I don't really care about your pictures. I want to see video. I want to see live action. Point of impact versus point of aim. It's the same. I mean, it's relatively the same, honestly. At 15 yards, 40 yards, I'm not having to worry about aiming high or aiming low. You know, it's the same with this sight. You know, I think everybody needs to have some sort of sight because, especially turkey hunting, you're so excited when that bird's coming in. Looking down the rib of this barrel in a bead, sometimes you miss. That's probably why you missed. It's not because the gun shot funny. It's not because of your shells. It's because you picked your cheek up here too high or you put it down too low. You came off of the shoulder. You didn't shoulder the gun right. Something didn't happen. If you got them sights lined up, it's going to hit the bird. That's why I like the red dot so much. You can have this gun on your armpit. I mean, on your elbow pit. And as long as that dot's on his head, he's a dead bird. You need to have some kind of sight. It helps, y'all, I'm telling you. But overall, this is a turkey killing machine now. I will comfortably shoot one at 45, 50 yards if I have to, but I don't like doing that. I'm a 30-yard and under kind of guy, but at 40 yards, I've got a killing pattern. At 15 yards, I really got a killing pattern. I mean, you can kill it with a BB gun at 15 yards, but I think I paid $500 for this gun. I put a $22 sight on it. Those chokes were expensive, but you get what you pay for. You know, I mean, I think it could be tight. I think if I went to 560, honestly, at 585 might be throwing the pattern funny, but because I've had a tighter patterns with the same constriction chokes. I had a Remington 870 with 585 Indian Creek, and it threw a baseball. You know, I mean, not really, probably a basketball at 40 yards, full, just beautiful pattern, but that's a killing pattern. So I've probably got $800 in this whole gun, if that. And this wrap is not staying on here. I've got it on here for right now because, and I don't like this chrome showing, but the guy uses dip, he's 2 months out, and we got a month and a half to turkey season. So it's hard to beat, y'all. If you're looking to get a gun and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, you're not wanting to spend $1,200. I mean, hell, if you don't want to spend the $600, put 2 Carlson chokes in it. You can get a Carlson dove choke and a Carlson tight, you know, either the TSS or the longbeard choke, and you've got $100 in chokes, and you got $600 in your setup. You know, I mean, it's hard to beat. And I do want to mention this. Most your over-unders don't come with sling studs. I installed those myself. It's not hard, y'all. A drill, you know, a tape measure. You can read a tape. It helps, but